To begin tonight, we're happy to have Newt Gingrich here. He's the former Speaker of the House, author of the book Trump and the American Future, Solving the Great Problems of Our Time. Mr. Speaker, thanks so much for joining us. Is it my imagination, or is this a more significant vice presidential debate, vice presidential race than we get in a normal year?
Well, first of all, I just want to congratulate you on that perfect explanation of Kamala Harris's brilliant narcissism and her belief that if she says speak truth long enough, people will forget that she's a radical from San Francisco, which is her big problem. I think this is a very important debate for a couple of reasons. One is that you have this huge contrast between a San Francisco radical and sort of a heartland conservative from Indiana. And the gap on values and on issues is going to be enormous. Second, and she's talked about the Harris administration. Even Biden has talked about the Harris-Biden ticket. I think your instinct is right. She is the dynamic force on their ticket.
That's right.
And she represents a radicalism, which, frankly, I hope every American gets to see up close and personal. And I hope tonight that Vice President Pence gives her plenty of opportunity to explain, why she would seize guns, why she's for paying for abortion in the 9th month, why she's for totally open borders. At one point, she even talked about allowing the Boston bomber to vote from jail while he's waiting on death row. I mean, it's hard to imagine. Again, if you're from San Francisco and you're a genuine radical, you come up with all sorts of things you can't explain to normal Americans.
I think I missed a lot of the dynamic between Joe Biden and voters early on. My new view is that because he has slowed down, not an attack, just an observation, he seems less threatening to a lot of people. And I wonder if you're running against the Harris-Biden ticket, if it wouldn't be wiser to highlight more of Kamala Harris's positions.
Oh, I think that the more they can make this a race between San Francisco radicalism and sort of mainstream American values. A perfect example is this question about Supreme Court justices.
Yes.
Donald Trump runs for office. He gives you a list of who he would nominate. Biden can't do that, and he can't do it for a simple reason. If he gives you a list the American people will accept, his radical base will go crazy. If he gives you a list that the base will accept, the country will repudiate him. So he just hides and blatantly refuses to tell you what he's going to do. And they do this over and over, and because 93% of the media is determined to destroy Trump, they protect him, they cover up Biden, they cover up Harris. There's no serious reporting about the true radicalism of the Biden-Harris ticket, or what it would be like, as you point out, and you're exactly right, with Harris dominating the next administration. I mean, Joe, if he got to be president, would be sleeping through half the day, and she'd be working overtime, putting her radical allies in charge of virtually everything.
Very quickly, I can't resist asking you, an MSNBC anchor tweeted the other day, at some point we need truth and reconciliation commissions, presumably to harass and maybe prosecute Trump supporters. If Biden and Harris win, are Trump supporters in trouble? Sincere question.
Yes, and no, you're in trouble because the full power of the state. Well, look at Governor Cuomo explaining to the Jewish community that if they don't obey him, he's going to close the synagogues. Yeah. Look at Governor Whitmer being slapped down by the Michigan Supreme Court because she's a petty dictator. These are people who love power. If they get enough power, they're going to tell you won't be on the air anymore. Fox will probably become the equivalent of PBS, and they simply won't tolerate it. These are people, if they get full power, will do everything they can in the first 2 years to make the entire country like California and to ensure that nobody can ever defeat them for office again. I think it's a very dangerous, foreboding election.
I'm glad I asked you that question. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Good to see you.